Hey, this is Jason from Identity in Christ Daily. Am I living from my calling or striving for approval? Am I trusting the resurrection power or my religious effort? There's some juicy nuggets in Galatians 1:1. It says, Paul, an apostle, not from men nor through man, but through Jesus Christ and God the Father who raised him from the dead. So let me give you some identity perspective here. Before Paul addresses any type of doctrine whatsoever, he establishes his identity. He doesn't start with personality or his experience. He starts with his calling. Stick with me and let's break it down. Paul, an apostle. You know what Paul's name meant? It means small or little. But before the brother was Paul, he was Saul. Who was Saul but a persecutor? Now Paul, his name has humility. But it's not weak humility. It's humility rooted in grace. It says he was an apostle, one who is sent with authority, not from man, but commissioned from God. So here's the kicker. Apostles aren't self-appointed, but they're sent by the authority of another. Paul wasn't self-made. So why does this matter? It matters because the church in Galatia was being influenced by religious leaders, men who questioned Paul's authority. These men added law to grace. Paul says, my authority is not from men. It's not cultural, but it is Christ's commission. When he says not from men, he means that his authority is not from the source of man. When he says not through man, he means the channel by which he received it is not man. Sorry, folks, not by church vote either. Unfortunately, it wasn't by human ordination or rabbinical appointment. But here's the real problem. The Galatians were essentially being pressured to believe that salvation was from circumcision and adherence to the Mosaic law. So what does Paul do? Paul defends the divine origin of the gospel by acknowledging that he was commissioned by Jesus Christ and by God the Father who ambushed his life in Acts chapter 9. Why does he mention Jesus and God the Father? Because they're one and the same. Paul received divine commission, divine authority by the divine gospel, who raised Jesus from the dead. Why mention the resurrection here? Because it validates Jesus' authority, the gospel of grace. It's proof that the cross worked, that it is finished. It is fulfilled, that death is defeated. So what were the religious leaders teaching? They were teaching a law of performance. It's what Paul would call perverting the gospel. So how do we apply this to our lives today? To be rooted in your identity, not your past failures, not in your current performance, and certainly not in your religious efforts. You're defined by the life of Christ in you. That's the power of the resurrection. That means your calling is not man-approved, but God-given, not from men nor through men. That means if God calls you, he will sustain you. It's not about your self-improvement. It's about the resurrection power. Ask yourself this question. Am I living from my calling or striving for approval? Am I trusting resurrection power or religious effort? Do you know who you're sent by? I pray that you'd be grounded in the identity of Christ, just like Paul was.